Wilmington. I finally got Jerry to change his notification sound.
Which mic?
I guess it would help if I turn my mic on. Let me turn your mic on too. There you go.
Thanks.
No problem.
They're
We're a
all
little slow today. It's all right. It's Wednesdays. I used to call school as Bad Attitude Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh.
Kids always come to school. It's only the middle
It's
of the way.
hump day.
Yeah, it's only the
I've
middle
been
of the way.
watching
Made it to the
these
top.
Viking things on their what's it called? The last country. I don't know.
Vikings,
Well, they're not Vikings. It's about early
Scandinavia.
yeah England, and but anyway, and of course their term for sex is humping,
Yeah.
and so when we say hump day, I'm thinking
Remember what I said earlier.
the rabbit hole started early today.
All right.
Head first.
Makes you want to say
Yeah, it's cold today. It's only in the 50s. It's only supposed to get maybe a high of low 60s. Some rain today. Friday and Saturday's looking good. Sunday now they're calling maybe a little rain, which I don't want to see that because we got our car show up at Sabina Community Church there next to Yule's. Church of Christ and Christian Union. There we go. I'll get it right. Church of Christ and Christian Union.
you know what church you go to.
Yeah, Church of Christ and Christian Union. There you go. That's where we go.
We've established that.
Yeah. Well, and if the weather's good, we should have a nice turnout because there's nothing else car-wise going on Sunday afternoon, noon to 4. So we'll see you need to come out.
Awesome. Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
chance. Good
We will.
chance. We have Danielle Johnson on here. This is history being made. I gotta tell Bozier that he's kind of part of history now because he was the first person inaugurated by the first female mayor in Sabina.
Yeah.
There we go. But we'll get into Sabina more here in about 15 minutes. Stephanie Morton's watching. Jerry Keplinger's watching.
Again.
All you guys that are watching, if you do us a favor, take that nose picker finger and hit the share button.
I think Kevin's posting the wrong thing on our feed.
Again?
Yeah.
What did he post?
He says, I'm near Sawmill Road and Hard Road, an old sawmill, behind the Walmart on Sawmill Road. Would you like to come get it this morning? What time's good for you? Cash only.
That's on the feed? I don't see that
Kevin
yet.
Martin, you're on the wrong feed.
You might want to text him. Okay, this is Rick Phillips, Wake Up Wilmington. I'll be
Mine
there.
doesn't show
I think he
anything.
knows that. I think he knows that.
Well, you got it.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Pulls up
Get
early.
caught up.
Yeah, Sean's up.
He's up
Wow.
early.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, we got some news. Let's get through the news because we got lots of Sabina stuff. to
Jeffrey
talk today.
Schuessler's on there this morning.
Doc.
We got the female mayor of Greenfield on. Angie Schiller.
Angie Schiller. She's the unofficial mayor.
I was like, very cool.
Yeah, she's the unofficial mayor. Stocks ticked down, ending a 6-day rally, but they didn't go down much. We did have a good turnout at Champions Grill Monday night. I'm glad you came, Sean. Sean's got a 9-foot chopper motorcycle.
Wow.
Plus, Sean would be a good one if we ever decide to try doing events in Sabina like we have in the past. He's a good singer. I had him come out a few years ago. I did like a little modern woodman concert series at the park. And I had different artists come out every month, and he came out and did one.
Have they ever
Awesome.
restored the shelter yet?
It's in process.
In process.
Yeah. UK suspends trade talks with Israel over Gaza offensive. So, I don't, United States stands firm with Israel, but it seems like Europe's starting to get a little shaky. I don't know if that's probably not good.
I think they're getting shaky just playing in democracy. I mean, you look at Germany and the stuff they've been, doing. They don't seem very democratic in Europe anymore.
So, Europe is changing, maybe not for the better. Good morning, Dr. Schuessler. You ever need a good foot doctor? He's the best.
Oh, awesome.
And
Well, Chris
they
just
get
scheduled with a foot doctor.
What
I
is
wonder
this?
if that's who he
Everybody's
did
getting
it
up
with.
early
Well, if he
today.
didn't, he should.
Oh, shoot. I don't know
Jeff
why
doesn't
my thing
get up
didn't
that
keep
early.
up.
Let's see, COVID. This is new. COVID shots now are not going to be recommended unless you're over 65 or you have a health risk for younger people. But just normal, everyday, healthy people, they're not going to recommend you get COVID shots anymore. So that's a change in the FDA's policy. Europe is having issues. This is interesting. Europe is having issues with Airbnbs. The rents are going up, and there's actually housing shortages now because a lot of people are using their old rentals for Airbnbs.
I read that.
So they've got to get a handle on it. And I think they're going to start making like the rules a lot harder for Airbnbs so they can turn them back into rentals or just sell them.
So I'll tell you, we went and we looked in Sandusky in an attempt to get in a rental for an Airbnb, and we found out they have a moratorium on them.
Really?
So that might be occurring more if that's the case. So yeah, they have a moratorium. You can't.
I think we have an
get
Airbnb
Airbnbs right now.
I think we have an Airbnb in Sabina.
There's a couple.
Yeah, and there's one in Reeseville.
Okay.
I know
I
that.
think the owners of Cava House have an Airbnb here somewhere.
In Wilmington, yeah. Well, and so does,
Yeah, the guy comes in.
yeah.
Got the
But a lot more, the problem is, that, even for people just finding places to
Dustin.
rent, if
Dustin.
they can't buy, they're complaining up around the Honda plant because not only did the rent skyrocketed, but there's just nothing available. People can't find places to live. They're living in trailers
Right.
around the lake because they just can't. They're in Jeffersonville. Everything's just it's all commercial now, or brought up by commercial
Right.
entities that are leased.
so it could be interesting to see what happens in Europe on that
Bennett
front.
says there's several in Wilmington.
Several in Wilmington Airbnbs.
I'm assuming that's what he means.
Yeah, because that's where all his criminals hides out that he has
Sean,
to go
you
get.
any criminals
You
today?
know, Sean, he's a bail bondsman.
Oh, gotcha.
Home Depot, it doesn't plan to raise prices due to tariffs, unlike Walmart. They plan on keeping prices level, so that's good.
Yeah.
Levi sells khaki giant dockers. I didn't realize dockers were called giant dockers. Did you know that?
No.
Maybe they just mean big guys, Charlie.
Well, they've sold them to the authentic brands, which is Reebok and Aeropostale, for $311 million. So,
Yep.
What a deal.
well, it probably, you know what's sad? It probably is.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know numbers are they just seem unreal. We say it like it's not a big deal, but like it's a lot of money.
well, somebody I saw something the other day about Tesla or something, how they had so much invested in it. Now it's like worth 100 times ever they invested.
Yeah.
5 more, the New Orleans, Louisiana guys are on the run.
Oh, good.
Oh, I see you, Sean Bennett. Sean Bennett, tell your wife I'd like to see her this morning if she wants to come in. You guys can take that however you want to take it.
Stirring the pot.
There you go. You can take that however you want to take
Rachel,
it.
you need to get him under control.
No, Rachel wants to see her too. Wake up, Matt Beamer. How you doing, Matt? Elon Musk is committed to staying with Tesla for 5 more years unless he's dead.
Wow.
That's the only way. That's the way he put it. And, of course, he's on a lot of people's hit list. So
I
just
think he's almost as unpopular as Donald Trump is. I
yeah.
haven't seen any seashells on the seashore.
See,
yet.
say that again.
Seashells.
Say that again several times. There you go. Go ahead.
His last baby mama's not real happy with him. I know that.
Who's that?
I can't
Elon?
remember.
Grimes, Rachel Grimes, is that her name?
Yeah, she's filed suit against him because he cut the child support in half.
Can you imagine?
Now it's
Can you
only
imagine it on?
$10,000 a month.
Yeah,
It's
or probably
five-
more than that.
What, $500,000 a year?
Oh, is that all?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And she's upset about it.
Yeah, and
How nauseating.
he gave her $2.5 million when the kid was born, and
I want to renegotiate my last divorce.
Yeah, there you go.
Can I go back?
yeah.
Good morning, Chris Robinson. Chris Robinson's going to turn his hair blue. Have you heard about this? Chris Robinson does a fundraiser every year. It's called Kickstart. tries to buy shoes for kids that can't afford new shoes for school.
Oh, wonderful.
And he's raised $1,000, $1,500, and actually through our car show in Sabina, we've donated to him the last 3 years, I think, $100,
Yeah.
help it out. Well, this year he's got a stretch goal, and his stretch goal was 3,500. So if he makes it to 3,500, me, him, and Travis Fenstermacher, and we're trying to talk Clinton Becker into doing something too.
Becker said no.
We're all going to go like Smurfs. We're going to have blue hair. And Jerry's going to dye his completely white. That way he can be Papa Smurf.
Beamer, we are getting to the Sabina.
We're getting to Sabina here in a minute, Beamer. Hold up there, brother. Gee. Leonard, he's one of Sabina's businessmen right there.
Oh,
Leonard's
Leonard.
garage.
Good morning.
Morning, Leonard.
Need any work done? He's the man. All right, I've got
Like Smurfs.
I got a little question for you guys, and I'll be done with the news. Yeah, the Indiana Pacers are in the Eastern Conference Finals against the New York Knicks. The Pacers is kind of a funny name for a basketball team, but it's an homage to two sports. What are the two sports that Pacers represent, that name?
I think pace car, so I would think.
So
racing.
Indianapolis 500 is one, yep.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep. See, we're getting you warmed up
Yeah.
for the game.
How about harness racing?
You know,
Yeah.
she even dinged. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you get the answer right, we need like a ding, ding, ding.
No, we do. I do that. I do that. Harness racing is the other one. You're right.
Cool. I mean, we're
Harness
just knocking it out of the
There you
park.
go.
Ding,
All right.
ding, 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 ding.
All
There
right.
you go. Oh, it's too bad. He goes, well, you might be able to play as a team if Rachel wants to play today. Well, okay. Well, or you may want to pick Rachel for your partner. We'll see.
Okay.
All right. So that pretty much does it for news. We got about a minute till the break. So Danielle, give us just a little bit of background on you before we take the break. Then we'll talk about Sabina when we come back from the break.
Okay, sure. Well, I was born in Kettering. I grew up in Hilliard, Ohio, and I lived in Pickaway County for a while. And then I was selling my house and going through a divorce, and I had to find somewhere to live, and the housing market was outrageous at the time.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. So I always searched realtor like Franklin County and the surrounding counties, and then one day I was like, I have to expand my search options because this just isn't, And this house in Sabina, never heard of it, was going up for auction the following day. And so I was like, well, let's give it a shot. And I drove out there, and I was 9 months pregnant at the time, and it was November or October.
You're kind of
I know.
gambling there a little bit.
I mean, well, and I'm standing out there, and I bid on this house, and I won, and I called my mom, and I said, well, I found a house, and I bought it, and she said, where? And I said, I don't know. I just GPSed here, so I don't even know where we are right now.
Now you're the mayor.
I know, and that was
Kevin
3
saying
years ago.
Kettering is a good place to be from.
Yeah, well, that's where my family lives.
So
So.
there's a parking lot on Sawmill Road somewhere.
So then I got on council, and now I'm the mayor, and now I'm a
rest
TV
is
star.
history.
Look at me now. Look at me
There you
now.
go.
Yeah.
So now, this was your daughter you were pregnant with, right?
Yeah, Cecilia Peach.
She's got a beautiful little daughter.
Yeah,
And how
thank
old is
you.
she?
She just turned 3 in December.
She, all I gotta say is about 15, well, no, not even that long, about 12, 13 years, Danielle's in trouble. Danielle, just like Stephanie with her daughter.
I know. And I'll tell you what, they're so smart. It blows my mind.
Oh.
You two are going to be both in trouble. There's Karen Lawwell. Karen, we're going to be out there today. Are you going to go out? We're going out to the Aging Up Center today.
Oh, cool.
Once you get to be 50, you can go out there and eat. $5 suggested donation.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll put that on my calendar.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nothing like planning ahead,
That's right. That's right. Well, yeah, you're way away from that.
20 years.
Yeah. What are you, about 30 right
That's
now?
what I said. I like to, I like to keep a rolling calendar. So,
All right. Well, we'll be back and we'll get into some Sabina issues. There's Melissa Bonner. How you doing, Melissa? And I know Danielle's already laid out some things she wants to do, and I think most of them are legal. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I say that tongue in cheek a little bit, But a lot of people don't realize when you get in an office like this,
All the things you can't do.
Yeah.
and you have to
Absolutely.
follow the rules, the law. Well, I want to take water money and spend it over here for that. No. And so we'll talk about that, and the wonderful EPA too. We'll be back.
All right.
Indulge in a variety of mouth-watering dishes, from juicy burgers and fresh salads to stacked sandwiches, delicious pizzas, warm soups, crispy fries, and finger-licking wings. Every bite is crafted with care using hand-grinded and breaded ingredients made right here in-house. Whether you're dining solo or with family or hanging out with friends, we have something to satisfy every craving. That's the Rusty Keg in Washington Courthouse, the best fries in town.
Are animals using your house as their new home? Spring is around the corner, and so is birthing season for wildlife. Give us a call today if you are hearing noises in your attic or under your house. Here at Diamondback Wildlife Extraction, we can take care of your wildlife removal needs and repairs. Nuisance wildlife can be very destructive to your house, such as chewing on or through electrical wiring and much more. Call us today to book an appointment for inspection at 937-302-6372. We strike back.
Forget the clown princes of basketball, the Harlem Globetrotters. There's a new all-star, family-friendly comedy polo team taking the sporting entertainment world by storm. The Equine Trots.
Bringing their highfalutin, high-kicking, mallet-swinging, horsey hijinks to an equestrian center near you.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett. Made up stories just like these.
As well as real news about what's coming to the Murphy.
Ohio's hometown theater in downtown Wilmington.
On the Murphy Report. News the way it's meant to be delivered.
In less than 30 minutes, or it's free.
The Murphy Report. Find us on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel with a brand new report every Monday morning.
Amanda, my buddy Sam was recently tossed from his own horsey all the way across the arena, landed in a soft bale of hay right next to another horse that was already asleep.
Oh my, that sounds dangerous. What's his condition?
Stable.
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
Oh, you're
It's
saying,
news to us.
Yeah. No.
Oh, boy.
What are we singing?
let's get physical, but it's personal.
No, it's
Oh, let's get personal. Let's get personal. Sundays, fun days, 5 to 8. After we get our Raisin Bran fiber, and we will be able to
hopefully
do
Omni will be in this week.
we'll do some Let's Get Personal, and that's where all the screwed up young people can come and get advice from Doctors Jeffrey Schusler, the Footlong King, and Sarah Play Me Like a Piccolo Fife.
Dr. Schusler also has a hot dog business.
Oh, very cool.
But he's the foot doctor
Well, like,
too.
yeah, I'm wondering if it literally Chris just scheduled an appointment to get a shot in his heel. So I wonder if it was from.
That may not be from him.
Oh, okay.
But I will tell you what, my feet, I went to him, when was that? Back in June? No, it wasn't that long ago. Well, I don't know, 6 months ago, and my feet haven't felt the same since. They feel better. They're
Tell us
good.
about all those boils.
No, he didn't tell you anything because that's
HIPAA.
Yeah.
And rules and regulations.
You waived your
I
HIPAA.
do waive my HIPAA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just an open book, huh?
Yeah. Pulled off
If
those
somebody
shoes.
really wants to
Pulled
know
off
about
those
my
shoes.
health,
Looked like a
I'll
bear.
tell 'em.
Well, I mean, if you've ever gone to Kettering Hospital,
Yeah.
it sounds like everybody's going to know about what.
HIPAA's out the window at Kettering.
I don't know. That's pretty wild.
All
Pretty
right.
wild.
Well, here we go. You've been married all of what, 3 weeks now?
3 whole weeks, yeah.
Oh, wow.
3 whole weeks. Have you changed the world yet?
Absolutely. Every day.
Are egg prices down?
Every day. Yeah, they are. They are down. I think it started when I, signed up for mayor.
I got to tease you a little bit because that's what, Trump, that's the first thing he got hit with. I thought you said you're going to bring stuff down the first week or two.
It happens
It's like,
immediately. You didn't know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But so I tell you what, so no one else would ask to run a budget or a business the size of Sabina or New Vienna with pretty much just volunteers.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of crazy because and if you don't know any of these answers, that's fine because you are new at it. But I'm curious, what is the budget or just a ballpark for Sabina? Everything, water, sewer, general fund.
I don't actually know.
Couple million, probably.
I mean,
at
I know
least?
what we have. Yeah, we have like 3.5 million, but I mean, obviously, we're not trying to spend all of that.
No,
So.
no. But what I'm getting at is run, and how many employees?
We have, I think, 12. Well, including the police, we probably have 16. I want to say
16
That's without actually
employees.
counting, but it's got to be near that. Yeah.
And then none of this is put you on the spot. It's just to, what other business?
Yeah,
do
I
you
feel like I
know-
didn't study for this test.
No, what other business do you know that has, 10 plus employees,
Mm-hmm.
a multi-million-dollar budget, and it's run by people that
Do it for free.
basically, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, there is a little compensation there, but
Yeah.
it's not, I don't know.
And all the hours I've put in the past week, I think I owe the village money at this point. So,
You owe the village money. What?
yeah, I think I'm in debt. Someone said the other day, I think you're probably making $3 an hour. I said,
Yeah.
no, I probably owe the village money
Yeah.
for the hours I've put in
Oh,
this
yeah.
week. So,
Yeah. Council gets, what did I see? $50, I think.
yeah.
Is
For
what
Louisiana?
is what we get.
Sounds like you're overpaid.
$50 a meeting?
No, a month.
Oh, you guys are way too low. You
Yeah,
need to move
and,
that up.
Well,
And
I'm going to tell you what, I went and I met with 4 villages, and not one of them were paid anything. They were shocked that we were paid.
Really? Oh, we've been paid since I was mayor, and that's 20
Yeah.
years ago.
It's always paid a little
Granville,
bit.
Ohio.
Really?
They're complete volunteer, no compensation whatsoever.
That's a fairly affluent area.
Yellow Springs,
Huh.
yeah.
Well,
I'm surprised
when
at
I was
that.
in office, we boosted it up a little. I think we were getting like maybe 75 a meeting, possibly for council, 50 or 75 a meeting, and then the mayor at least got $300 a month, I think, because at least then they could at least put it in for retirement years.
Sure.
And it should still be that or more, I would hope by now.
Well, yeah, they
So-
have to do a PERS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh?
So
They have to do PERS.
Well, but you also have to make enough though to go PRS.
council is $200 a month, and then mayor's
I'm gonna move to
$300.
Sabina.
Yeah, well,
Mayor's
We
still
gotta-
only 300.
yeah.
That's what it was when I think the last time maybe it got raised was when I was mayor. That needs to go up.
It is supposed to go up, I think, in 2020. It'd be in the next
2024,
election. No,
25?
2026.
2026.
Any
Okay.
free food? Charlie would have instituted that right away.
No, I took $30 worth of donuts in yesterday.
Oh, wow. Charlie.
And she didn't tell me. I'd have been up there.
Nice.
I've been up there right after 30
Yeah, there you go.
donuts.
Yeah, we went out. I went and got them some from Combs. I had my first staff meeting yesterday, so I had to schmooze them a little.
Uh-oh.
There you go. And that's good. And I'm going to tell you what, the employees are your best asset
Absolutely.
because they
Can't run without it.
They can make you look good or they can make you look bad.
Yeah.
And but I tell you what, more times than not, they made me look good, which I appreciated because I still was working full time.
Yeah. I just said this morning, I am blown away that, most of the mayors, like yourself, work a full-time job and have to do the mayor duties because, I mean, truly, like yesterday I was in there from 9 a.m. until 4 o'clock and it was nonstop things to do. And the day just disappeared. And I thought, how in the world do people even have time to do this?
That's where you have to count on one thing about any kind of leader, your best thing to do is to
delegate.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get organized and do yesterday.
But also delegate with a purpose. Get things that people like your interest inventory you sent out. I filled it out, but do that with the council too. Say, okay, look, you're up here. What are your specific goals? What do you want? Because if they have a vested interest in it, they're gonna work harder for it as opposed to, man, I won't be on this water committee.
Certainly.
You know what I mean? But somebody has to.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know? And we had people that did that. We had council people that get out in the field and help help the workers if we needed to. But I didn't do that because they knew that they'd probably have to work there twice as long if I was helping.
You were a police officer.
I did. I was, because you are the top law enforcement official of the village now. You realize
Well,
that?
everybody better remember that.
Well, and
You don't have a coroner, right?
you can get a badge.
Yeah.
I would no. You should. You should have a badge.
Really?
Yes, you should have a badge, and that way, in case you're ever in a situation where you're trying to aid and help, at least you have that to show someone.
Gotcha.
I would highly recommend in this day and age too, getting your conceal and carry if you don't have it. But yeah, I would have a badge, and I would encourage you to ride with the police some, because that way.
Did you still have the bullet for when you were?
I never had a bullet. They never let me have a bullet.
You
But
didn't get a bullet?
but I tell you what, I made the sheriff's department so mad at me because, what happened was, I don't want to talk about stuff 20 years ago, but just real quick, they voted down the income tax that council put on, so we just put it back on, but we had to lay off everybody for about a month. And so I had the police car. I was driving police car, parking at places, and I went on calls. And a lot of times I just tried to use the Andy Griffith mentality. Let's keep everybody calm, separated,
Wow.
and the sheriffs would be calling me on the radio, and of course it was in the car, and they're like freaking out. Oh, he's not responding. He's not responding. So they come firing in there. You need to use your radio. And I'm like, it's all under control, guys. It's fine. You just,
You're
I
like,
got
everybody just stay
I got
calm.
them over there. I got them over there. I'm out.
Yeah.
Take over.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
Yeah, they didn't like that because, see, we didn't pay the sheriff's department anything.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
We had our own police department. But for about 3 or 4 weeks, we didn't.
One of the best moves we made was doing away with the police department and going to the sheriff's department. I don't know why we didn't do it years ago.
Well, we're talking two different birds there. How big's New Vienna?
1,200 people.
See, we're about 20. We were 20.
2,500.
Yeah. Now, see, when I was mayor, it was 2,700. So we went down a couple hundred.
Yeah, I think the last number I saw was like 2564, something like that. Which, who knows?
You're joking, right?
No, I swear. 2564 is what?
That's a Chicago song. 25 or 6 to 4.
Oh, really? No, that really was the number I saw the other day.
You really? That's funny.
Yeah.
That's a good way to remember this population.
There you
25
go.
or 6
Yeah.
to 4. There you go. All right. Now, so we know a little bit about Danielle, and we're going to talk when we come back. Your what's your top 5 visions for Sabina?
Okay.
We'll be back in just a minute. See, it was 15-minute sections.
Yeah, they do. Super quick.
Roller Haven is located at 1640 U.S. Highway 22 Northwest, Washington Courthouse, Ohio. The perfect place for a day out with the family, birthday parties, and even an organization event or fundraiser. Check out our website, rollerhavenwch.com. Or give us a call at 740-335-6481, and we can help plan your event. We look forward to seeing you there.
City Council surprisingly votes 4-3, banning citizens from dressing up their puppies.
Mere days before the local kennel club's National Puppy Jamboree.
It's a canine conundrum.
And City Hall has blood on its paws.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Feel-good stories we make up just for you every Monday morning, plus the latest on what's coming to the Murphy Theater in Wilmington, Ohio on The Murphy Report.
Your mistrusted name and made-up news.
The Murphy Report. Find us on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel.
I don't know if you're aware of this, Amanda, but I dress up both of my dogs, Claire and Wally.
Let me guess. Bonnie and Clyde.
Nope.
Abbott and Costello.
Nope.
Mickey and Minnie.
Close. William Gibbs McAdoo and the first of his 3 wives, Sarah Hazelhurst Fleming.
Of course, the Treasury Secretary under Woodrow Wilson.
And his wife. The Murphy Report. Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us. Labor analysts have done the math. If God used union workers to create the world, just how long would it take?
6 days and a day of rest? Hardly. Experts say we might still be under construction, but at least we'd be on more solid ground.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Made up stories just like these are what we're about on The Murphy Report, with a new report every Monday morning on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel.
Plus all the real news about what's coming to the Murphy Theater.
Ohio's hometown theater in the heart of downtown Wilmington.
Hosted by veteran anchors Vanessa Del Rey and Breck Stone. It's news you might lose. But if you do, we'll find it, we'll pick it up, we'll roll it up, and we'll stick it back in your front screen door.
That sounds more like a newspaper, Steve.
This isn't a newspaper?
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us. City officials forcing a local beloved mascot to step down.
why poor timing and inappropriate behavior doomed a pantless Wilson the Weasel following his drunken performance at the late Judge Garrett's funeral.
There was nothing routine about this routine.
A story we are dedicated to getting to the bottom of.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett. These made-up stories and the latest real news from the Murphy Theater are what you've come to expect from us.
On The Murphy Report, with a new report posted every Monday morning on our Murphy Theater website and our Murphy Theater YouTube channel.
Full minute-to-minute coverage all 21 hours a day.
With veteran news anchors Vanessa Del Rey and Breck Stone.
Amanda, I have to say Vanessa and Breck are just about the two finest anchors in the business.
For once, you're absolutely right, Steve.
I think the Titanic could have learned a thing or two from these two giants in their field.
What am I missing here?
Anchors.
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us.
15 grand, something like that.
That might be you.
It's been suggested by more than one.
I don't know what.
All right, we're back.
Saying about here.
Kevin Martin, you're giving us, is that, maybe that's Sabina's coordinates.
Or Kettering.
Or Sabina, Kettering?
Yeah.
Or maybe that's where he's meeting his next buyer.
Is this for a drone attack?
Yeah, might be, yeah.
What the heck? All right, now, Danielle, I asked a question before the break.
Sure.
Give me your top 3 to 5 things you'd like to see done.
Okay, I would love, especially because we mentioned my daughter Cecilia, we have a lot of children in the community, and we do not have a park, because as you know, our park burned down. And I would love to see just an amazing park for the kids in our community. Especially because I think it was mentioned earlier too, that, you know, there's a lot of people moving to the area because of the Honda plant. And, you know, we want to have something appealing to families. And
Well,
so,
You've got a great proximity to the Honda plant.
absolutely.
If you're not there, but you're far enough away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to bring in, you know, some new residents. So,
We kind of have a unique situation too, because Richland Township Park attaches to the Village Park in Sabina.
yeah.
So I tell you what I'd like to see if you guys do a lot of stuff with the park. I think they need to utilize, like, here's the shelter house. You not utilize the oval in the middle, but utilize all that space back there
Behind there.
because it's on the same level.
Sure.
And parents could watch their kids a lot easier. There's grills over there. Some of those grills, I don't know, may need to be taken out. I don't know.
I'm not sure. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm open to any ideas. We're just really right now trying to focus on trying to find the money to do that because there are a lot of grants available for park equipment. So, you know.
So we need a grant writer.
Yeah. Yeah. I did suggest to our lovely assistant that maybe she could take a class for that because she's already employed with the village. So it'd be really great for her to, you know,
I got
be able to do those
someone,
things.
Maybe.
Okay.
So if you guys decide you do want me up there, I might be able to find someone that, the way I understood it, the way she told me, she can find her own grant, like to pay her, but then also, she was talking more like helping people out with individual problems, like seniors especially, like, you know, if you need help with taxes, if you need help with this,
Wow.
if you need help. And she's been a guest here, Dr. L.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a doctor,
Wonderful.
of education, and but she's written a lot of grants too
Yeah,
for
because
education.
that's the biggest thing that we need is, I mean, free money, you know, to get things done.
What's the address for Sabina Park? I don't know that it actually has an address because it's at the corner of Eden and Rose Avenue and Is
I
that
looked it up
Kenyon?
online and it does not have an address.
Yeah, it really doesn't. It's where the water tower is. It's corner of Eden and Rose is the best place I
Which
can.
water tower, Charlie?
There's only one. There's only one, and it's
The
painted
one and
ugly
only.
gray right now. I don't like it.
We've brought that subject up before.
We need to get Dwayne Richards like to do something.
Oh
up
my
there.
gosh, how cool would that be? Just to have something beautiful up
If he
there.
would do something, I don't know if he would do. He's doing a nice mural right now in downtown Washington Courthouse on the
Yes.
right across from their courthouse.
It's crazy how much it costs to maintain a water tower.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Well, and that's what people don't realize, just with local government. I mean, it's crazy. I want to get back to our list. We got park.
Park. One of the biggest things, so we put and I would like this as well, but I'm just going to mention it. So we put a survey on the website to ask our residents what their
filled mine
top
out.
3, thank you, what their top 3 things that they'd like to see improved or changed or implemented in Sabina. And one of the biggest things that we keep seeing come in is sidewalks. So our sidewalks are in really rough shape. And again, if you're older and you have to use a walker, say, or if you're in a wheelchair, or if you're pushing a stroller with a baby in it, you're not using our sidewalks. Not most of them.
Actually,
You know?
the problem with that is a lot of times that's the homeowner's responsibility. I think at one time we had a grant that you could
The
split
city Wouldn't the
costs.
city put them in and then charge the homeowner?
We could do a special assessment to do that. And again, that would
Because
be
even in
something I'd like
maintaining them, I
to.
know Wilmington requires you to maintain your sidewalks.
What?
And they'll come in and do it, and you get it put on your tax.
Yeah, that's City of Wilmington. I would like to be kinder and gentler.
Well, that's what, so my plan is to get these surveys, and I hope that people continue. Please, if you're in Sabina, get on the Sabina website, and there's 2 surveys on there. One is for your recommendations for our community, and the other one is a lead line survey, just to
didn't see
see
that
if
one.
you're. Yeah, it's right. It's actually just right above that, I think, and then the community one's below it. But it's for the EPA, and it's to find out if people's homes still have lead lines running to their drinking water.
But here's the problem: most people wouldn't know.
Well, that's why they're doing the survey, and the survey in there, it shows them exactly how to check for it.
Oh, okay.
And so
when did they start? When did they stop using lead lines?
I don't know.
We need to figure that out. Kevin Martin, help us out. When did they stop using lead lines for water? Because that's probably like a state or a federal.
I think it was in the 60s because we had to do that same thing.
Well, if it's in the 60s, that's great. My house was built in the 70s, so I'm
There
good.
you go. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you can go down in your basement or wherever your lines lead, and if they're plastic, then that's obvious. But if they're, some people might not know if it's not cast iron. What's it called?
Yeah, cast iron.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so. Iron,
Okay.
yeah.
Either way, one of them the magnet will stick to, and the other one's copper. And then if you scrape it and stuff falls off, then it's likely lead. But it describes all of that for you. There's pictures included. Walks you through the whole process just to see, because we have to notify the EPA if they're.
I had a
lead
rental.
lines.
I had a rental in Wilmington, and it had cast iron.
Okay, yeah, that's what we had when we moved in, and they were completely full, so we had to pull them all out because we weren't getting any water through them. But so anyway, so sidewalks would be a big one because that's something that I feel like the community really wants.
It's not just for old people, kids.
As I said, children. We were taking a walk yesterday morning, and my daughter tripped and fell, right over a little bloop in the sidewalk, so. But what people don't understand too, a lot of the problems from some of our sidewalks is from trees.
Right.
And, roots find water.
Yep.
And trying to explain that is kind of tough too, because people get upset. Because
You're
we
gonna
love
take
trees.
my tree down?
I know, and I love trees. My whole house is full of plants. I love plants, and I think they're wonderful. And we just have to be aware of our infrastructure and the price we pay for that.
Right.
I mean, truly,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
well, I can't remember the 2 I picked, but one, did you have something about like social activities or something? Because I think I picked that one.
I believe so. Yeah, just like more community
Yeah, more
engagement
And I'd like to take that. Well, I do. I mean, we've done the car show for 20-some years. We're doing a car show this week. I put on concert series. I think that's one place I want to try to go.
So I know like one thing that we're really trying to work with is the Clinton County Visitors Bureau we're going to, which the grant process just ended for the current year, but for next year, we would love to do something sort of like a Rock the Block, or, you know, like they're talking about maybe hosting one in Sabina.
That'd be good.
I know. I think that would just be really cool.
That'd be good.
It'd be just a nice event for Sabina. So, you know, I'm all about community things. My biggest, you know, I want them done well if we're going to do them. Otherwise, I'd like to not do them at all, you know, because sometimes I feel like we've come together to try to do things and it's been kind of like, you know, and so I just really want to make sure that we're putting in the effort to make sure that it's a successful event so that people aren't coming out. You know, there's been parades occasionally, which I love the idea of parades. Wilmington does the Holodazzle, and it's incredible and amazing. And how do we compete against that?
Well,
and why? And why would you? Just let them shine, and that's okay. Let's do something different, you know, because like the last Christmas parade, I think it was one float, one car, and a little boy, sweet boy on his bicycle. And that was great and wonderful, and I'm glad that everybody was involved. We had so many people come out, and then it was like you know, and it's like disappointing to the residents. So it's like, okay, if we're not going to come out with a bang, I would rather just not do it. Does that make sense?
It does, but I will just say this. Some things, it's like the car show. It's going on 20-some years, so it's built up. It's
absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll get 70. If the weather's good, we'll get 75 to 100 cars.
Amazing,
that day.
right?
But if the weather's not good, we may only get 40 or 50.
That's still a lot, though.
Yeah.
I mean, 40 or 50, that's still a really good turnout in my mind. You know,
Yeah, but
it's just I don't want people to put in a ton of effort into something and then it just fall flat, because I don't like that for the residents or for the people that are putting in their time. You know,
some things have to build, though. It's like my little concert series. We did good concerts that whole summer.
Yeah.
And, we might only get 15, 20 people, but they came back.
Yeah.
And, that's something that's just got to grow.
Grow on. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I understand that.
Now, one thing with Rock the Block, you need to make sure of, probably they need to send their stage down, or because I've sponsored some concerts, and you got to make sure you got the powerful electric.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the 220 and all that,
you can't get the stage anymore. It's not supposed to leave. What was that? It's not supposed to leave Wilmington, I guess.
Really?
I think they had mentioned something about the old stage. I guess there's an old stage that maybe they don't use anymore that we could bring.
You know, there's something talking about events. The Christmas parade. I think it was last year.
You had a nice one in Nuviana.
But wasn't Nuviana and Sabina at the same time?
Yeah, it was the same
That's what I'm
night.
saying. It's so hard. I don't want to do competing things because then,
The community center in Nuviana are the ones that put most of all that stuff on. And yeah, I'd like to see I'd like to see Sabina and Nuviana kind of
do more together.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always been Sabina, and then,
that's what we are,
Nuviana.
Yeah,
I would love to do that though, because just for example, like for Memorial Day, we're going to have a wonderful ceremony, but we're not doing a Memorial Day parade because Nuviana has the band this year. Well, why couldn't Nuviana and Sabina come together to celebrate our heroes, instead of having to do it separate and like, well, we don't get it this year, we get it next year, know? Why couldn't we just come together and do it? We're all here celebrating the same thing.
Let me tell you the way it used to be, because I was a band director at East Clinton for 12 years. We sent...
You're such a jack of all trades, Charlie.
Yeah, and master of none. I'll say it before he says it. Anyhow,
he felt you coming,
Here's what we did. We did the junior high band at one, and the high school band at the other. And then we switched it the next year.
That's cool.
So each year...
That makes so much sense, though.
Each year there was a band there, but see, they won't do the junior high band anymore, marching. And I tell you what, the junior high kids, we didn't play anything real hard, but they memorized it, and they loved it.
Yeah.
They loved doing something like that. So, but, yeah, I mean, events... First of all, you got to plan them out way in advance.
Yeah,
it's like doing this car show.
That's preparation is key.
Like doing this car show
successful.
For Sunday. Do I want to do it on Saturday? No, because there's already car shows going on. Do I want to do it on Monday because it is Memorial Day? Might be a lot of people. And a lot of people say, well, you shouldn't have a car show on Mother's Day. Well, there's a lot of people, their mothers aren't around, so it gives them something to do that
Sure.
day. So I thought about Memorial Day Monday, and I thought, well, let's just do it Sunday afternoon or after church because nothing was scheduled. Hopefully the rain will stay away. And but I communicated with the town 3 or 4 months ago, and I said, are you guys, are they doing anything on Monday? Oh, well, we don't know. You know, well, there what are they planning as of yet? Which,
Yeah.
Well, one of the biggest things that you probably already ran into it, is to put on an event like that, you got to have people.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to volunteer to help. You
I
can't
think
get
if
enough
if
people
you
to do it.
Build something successful, and I think that you're building that shelter house again.
yeah.
If you really work on improving the park with various things,
Then have more
you can-
events out there.
You can draw people to the park. They don't have to line the streets. You don't have to have. You could bring a band to the park, and they could play. You know, you could build your own stage in the park.
Well, we'd had that.
So the point is, you bring them to the park rather than having to worry about them lining the streets or interrupting traffic or what. People would come because you could make an all-day event out of it. They could have, they could cook out. They could do all kinds of stuff.
Well, I think what Jerry's talking about is like the people to run it.
Right.
So what I found, the best way that I handle it is I don't say, we need volunteers. I just go, hey, do you want to volunteer?
Right.
Do you want to volunteer?
That
Because it's a
might-
lot harder for people to say no than it is for them to avoid you like the plague.
That might be your
know?
next survey, though.
Yeah.
Even though you're not a member of council or you're not, up
Well, I
here
put
with
that
us,
on my survey. Do you want to be, would you like to volunteer or be involved in community activities?
I would say maybe do a separate survey. Okay. And then maybe put some suggestions, but then put at the bottom what community activities would you like to see?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will get more involved.
I think
if
I
it's-
did,
If
yeah.
it becomes successful, if people start coming to these.
And they recognize, wow, that was amazing. I
Right,
can't
it
wait
was
till
worth
next
the
year.
effort. It's
Yeah.
not like we planned this big parade and there was 3, a float and a little kid on a bicycle.
I know.
You know,
God love
Charlie's
it.
Horse. Rock.
I know.
But
Yeah.
you go to the park and you draw a couple hundred people to the park, the first year, and they're cooking out and they're playing music and there's all the band's there. More people are going to volunteer the next time around too.
Sure.
Well,
the two things that we have the most success with there that they have is the Christmas parade. Of course, they go to the community center, have Santa Claus
Right.
and Mrs. Claus, and you get food and you get stuff for the kids. So that always turns out, and that does well. And Oktoberfest does well.
Yeah.
That's the two things. They didn't have the spring event this year. No interest, no volunteers, nobody.
Well,
wanted
Cat
to
kind of
be
ran
involved
that last year, but they ran Cat off. That's the way I understand it.
Surprising.
Yeah, imagine that. Sabina website or Facebook page, yes, they have both.
Yeah, and they're both freshly updated. So the website was a little bit out of date. So Andrea, my awesome assistant,
Beamer likes mine.
went in
Party in
there
the
and
park?
she updated the
Yeah.
entire thing. And our calendar on there is up to date with current events that are going on around town, anything happening with the library. Charlie's car show's on there. The Memorial Day ceremony that'll be held Monday at 10:30 at the Sabina Cemetery. So that should be beautiful. And so anyway, yeah, I highly encourage people to visit our website. I think it doesn't get enough traffic. I think that keeping up to date with it will be super helpful. And then I'm also sending out a newsletter now moving forward. So each month for people that aren't on the internet and aren't on our website, they can still have full access to all of the goings on around town for that month. So that'll run from the 25th of each month to the end of the following month. So this current one will be May 25th through June 30th. And that'll have anything that's going on around town. It'll have the links to our Facebook page and our website in case anybody wants to go on there and
And
check
you're
it
going
out.
to be getting fiber in Sabina, so that's going to be helpful as far as communication.
Yeah. Yeah, the fiber's been quite the conversation.
Has it?
Yeah.
Well, they kind of just do what they want to do and not
They're
really.
just blowing through town.
Yeah, they're-
No regard.
Alta's on the poles, right?
No,
They're in the ground,
they're
Are they?
underground,
They're underground?
in people's driveways and yards, and
tearing
I
stuff
thought
up.
Alta didn't go underground. I thought that was on.
Oh, it is Omni, yes. So I just asked that question yesterday because it was written down that it was Alta, and I said I believe it's Omni Fiber. And so I think thank you for confirming that because that's what I thought.
was on Alta's website though, and they actually said on their website they were coming.
Oh, well, they probably are then.
That would be on the poll. I'm pretty sure that will be on the poll.
Currently, I believe it's Omni Fiber, and right now our village workers just feel like maybe they're their cleanup crew because it's just, it's been rough.
And of course, it's a different company that actually does the
Contracting.
underground
Right.
work,
Sure.
So that's the problem. And
Yeah.
we had the same.
ICE has been notified. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Well, am I wrong?
I don't know. I don't know who the workers are. I haven't even seen them. I've only seen the destruction they've left in their path. So I'm trying to mediate that.
Tom
so.
Homan is making a visit to mine next week. No, I'm just kidding. Just joking. You know who Tom Homan is, the ice guy.
Oh, okay.
It all blows through, I think, that ultimately, if you've got high-speed fiber from 1, 2, or however many companies, it will help.
Hey, it gives us options too, which is incredible
Businesses will
because
think of locating to Sabina simply
Yeah.
because there's infrastructure there that can help with their business.
yeah.
We're going to be back in just a minute.
A major shakeup in the pharmaceutical industry as Flintstone Vitamins taken to task for tasting nothing like Fred or Wilma.
And as for Pebbles, well, she's already a fruity breakfast cereal. Why dietitians and nutritionists coast to coast are warning us to yabba dabba don't when it comes to ingesting these chalky childhood chewables.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Looking out for your health and well-being is just a sample of the kind of made-up news you can expect on The Murphy Report.
Earning the reputation as the mistrusted name in news isn't something that we take lightly.
In fact, most wouldn't take it at all.
And our efforts reflect that, with a trophy case in our lobby filled wall to wall with empty shelves.
Let the other outlets vie for trophies and your respect.
We're simply too busy making it up to care for such accolades, with a new report posted every Monday on the Murphy Theater website and YouTube channel.
The Murphy Report, with veteran news anchors Vanessa Del Rey and Breck Stone.
Remember, if it's news to you,
Nursery rhyme historians uncover the truth about Jack and Jill.
there was no hill to climb, and new clues cast doubt on there ever being a pail. What could be next? The tortoise and the hare living together?
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett. The nursery rhymes may be made up, but the only thing made up here is the news.
That's right, Steve. On The Murphy Report, with a new report every week beginning Monday morning on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel.
Hard-hitting, cutting edge, and a third less fulfilling.
With veteran news anchors Vanessa Del Rey and Breck Stone.
A combined 415 years in the news business.
It's made-up news you can count on to get you through your day.
And put you to sleep at night, just like me with my warm milk and cookies, and a plethora of heart-related medications.
Plus all the real news on what's coming to the Murphy Theater.
Ohio's hometown theater in downtown Wilmington.
That's on The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
Yeah. Well,
It's
and
news
that's
to
everybody was
us.
Like, you know, we're excited for you to be the mayor because, I mean, they have the impression that.
we're on,
Oh,
too.
okay.
They have the impression that, we're all on here.
Hello.
You're fine. We talk in between, and really the talks in between we could air. They're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
bad. Just
For the most part.
yeah. Well, until Rick talks, but anyhow. No, it's
You can't make everybody happy.
so.
No.
Let's in review here. The park,
Sidewalks.
events, sidewalks. There's 3.
Our biggest thing that we're working towards right now is updating our water meters, which would just be incredible for our residents and for our workers and for efficiency and accuracy. It's an enormous project, and so we are currently trying to get a grant for those.
And that's
So-
where you just go by and shoot it with a gun, and it gives you the reading, right?
Drive by.
No, actually, neither one of those things.
They read from the water tower. Ours does.
Really?
Yeah.
So they won't be checking the water meters every
No,
month?
and residents will have immediate access. So you could log on right now if we had what we're trying to get anyway, and it has live updates. There's no lag. We've talked to a couple different companies. One has like a 15-second lag, which I mean, at the end of the day, You
Who
know,
cares?
it's 15
Yeah.
seconds. However, zero lag is even better. It'll also, you can set yourself up for notifications. So if your usage is high, boom, it'll just send you a little message that says, hey, your usage is high, or hey, you might have a leak. It'll tell you where it thinks the leak is. I mean, they're super advanced. And then if you can do the automatic billing. So, you know, right now we still stuff envelopes
Right.
and mail them out to every resident.
Yep.
The amount of time savings is going to just be out of this world, especially
Right.
for meter readings. It's, you know, I mean, it'll probably save
That
us.
takes a couple days at least.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like collectively, it would probably save us a week every month of man hours.
That's good.
You know, of when it comes to stuffing and mailing and billing and
All encompassing.
you know, yeah, absolutely. Maybe maybe even a week and a half if I wanted to
So-
push it. But so man, where we could dedicate that extra time.
Right.
You know, when
yeah.
you're talking 6 employees or more for a week and a half, man, the things
Yeah.
we could get done.
Well,
I mean, so that's our top priority right now. And again, like I said, it'll really help with the accuracy of billing. And you know, maybe a year and a half ago, I was out of town, and the day that I got home, Rob luckily just like checking my meter or something, and he saw it had been running, and I had a leak underground.
oh no.
Yeah, and he was able to notify me right away. But I mean, it had already, my bill I think was $860.
Oh my gosh.
From the leak, and it was on my side, so I mean it was my responsibility, so I had to have my whole yard dug up, plus an $850 bill, plus, you know,
Now,
so
sometimes they will work with you on that, like they won't charge you the
sewer.
part
That's
of
correct,
it.
yeah.
Because,
They took my sewer off.
yeah, so that helps.
We actually work with them for a water adjustment. If you find a leak and you work on it soon. I mean, you don't just let it run, let it
Right.
run. And actually, we've made adjustments to the water bill and not charge them that full amount.
We
Yeah.
just make adjustments to the sewer.
Just take because
So
that's
who,
what your sewer is
who
based on.
did you go through for your water meters? Do you know who the company is?
I can't.
I'd be
I can't
curious
remember
to
what
know
it
if
was.
it's the-
Let me know when you find out, and I'll let Danielle know.
Yeah, because I'm super interested. We're really trying to get this ball rolling because it would just make such a difference for the village.
That would be. That's a big thing.
So that, while I would love to see the other things, those are like my wish list items, you know,
got one
parks
more.
and sidewalks, but my
Water
meters is a
events.
top, that's like a need. And then I would say just our general infrastructure, our underground water lines and sewer, storm sewers and things like that.
Yeah. Well, right. You know, there used to be a guy in Smyrna, Richard Coleman,
Okay.
and Richard, he used to give speeches up here at the Historical Society.
Okay.
And he talked about Sabina, and he lived in Sabina. And, you know, Sabina, thousands of years ago, was a swamp because of the Reeseville Hill.
I've heard that.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, you know, we're always going to have water. The only way we could maybe solve some water problems is to put some, like, dry ponds in areas, which is tough.
It's tough to find the space for that too.
Well,
the land
well,
isn't
it is.
really available.
Now, I know Woodruff, when I was mayor, worked with us on the Hunt Drive deal.
Yeah.
And what we did there was, I think it was legal because Woodruff agreed to it. But
Okay.
we closed half that sewer water, stormwater drain off. So it had to actually get up to the top to go through. And that, if nothing else, slowed down the water.
That's
going
interesting.
through.
We were wondering because there's been a lot of issues over on Hunt Drive of late, and we weren't sure. I think that's super important to know that.
Well, I don't
because-
know. I mean, Rob did it because Rob was still there when I was there. But, and we did get permission because Woodruff didn't care if it flooded in that area on their side.
Yeah.
And they were really good to work with. And like I said, you have your hole, and we had it covered about halfway, which I don't know. I don't think it's illegal by any means, but just it held the water back. And then when it finally got over, yeah, it still went through.
The only
but
problem
it
you
took
get
a
there
while.
is if whoever you had the agreement with sold off property.
They still own it.
Yeah, then they'd have an issue.
Yeah, they still own it, but I don't know if that's still in place or not.
I'm not sure.
But that whole ditch just needs to be cleaned out. We did that when I was mayor, but we did it on the other side of town. You know, I don't know if we got grants or just did it, but you could only clean out one side of the creek.
Okay.
That's why when you see like the creek coming into Sabina, you see one side's cleared off, the other's not, because that was the rule of the EPA we had to live by.
Interesting.
Yeah, at that time. Now it could have changed, but that helped drainage on that side of town quite a bit.
They've kind of gotten away from a lot of the grants now because they say landowner's responsibility.
Well, and
They
that's
come back. We just had that session there in Nuviana.
so when John Kasich was governor, he put the screws to education, local government funds, townships, cities, villages, because all the monies that we were getting from the state, he cut it like in half, if not less.
Wow.
Yeah, so he'd make state government, look at all this money I've saved.
Sure.
But then he's giving it to you in the back end, because then the towns have to act, like we have the income tax.
Yeah.
Which, to me, is the fairest form of taxation. Why tax property owners, especially when they're retired, their incomes don't go up? You know, if you're earning the money, you can pay that little measly 1% or 0.5% or whatever it is. So that was our feeling on it, was basically to protect our seniors.
Well, they're trying to get that on the ballot now to do away with property tax.
Yeah, I heard that.
And that's simply because I saw last night the lady that's behind it. She said the only reason they're doing it is because they couldn't get anybody at the state. The governor wouldn't even talk to them, and wouldn't talk to them about doing something with these property taxes that's went up so much.
Well,
and
schools is their main
to make some kind of an
money.
adjustment. And they wouldn't even talk about it. So, okay, fine. If you don't want to talk about it, let's just get something together and do away with it altogether. Now you figure out how you're going to pay for things.
Wow.
Well, but see, though, they're not putting the screws to the state. They're putting the screws to the local government, because that's who collects the property taxes.
Well, yeah.
That's the thing. There again, it could be another shot to schools and local governments. And yeah, my feeling, and Rick feels the same way about this, I think, really the most fair tax of all, sales tax. Because whatever you spend, guess what? You spend more, you get to pay more. You don't spend as much.
You pay more than the Volvo or the.
That's how Tennessee does it.
And then next, I think, is income tax.
Ohio's talking about doing away with income tax. They want to eliminate state income tax completely.
Well, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
It would encourage business.
That's one of what's Ramaswamy?
Ramaswamy, Vivek
That's
Ramaswamy.
one of his things. He wants to do away with the state income tax.
I could get behind eliminating property tax, Kevin Martin says.
Yeah, we know why you would get behind it, Kevin Martin.
Yeah.
You've seen that palatial estate you live in.
He's a millionaire. All right. Let's see. You know what? It is in the 9 o'clock hour.
Whoa.
So let's do a few local birthdays. Then we'll play the birthday game, but then we'll come back for Chain Connection.
What's that?
Oh, you'll find out.
Is it a game? I'm super competitive.
It's a game.
All right,
Oh,
well,
she's super.
Oh,
I'm
there
gonna
you
be
go.
honest with you. My chains today are pretty easy too.
Really?
Yeah,
Somebody
you say
could
that
run
every
them.
time.
Yeah.
Somebody could run the chain.
You said
today.
that yesterday, and that one was a pain in the hind end.
Charlie,
These are easier today.
All right.
Are we going to
I'm
break?
ready.
No, let me do local birthdays and go to break.
all right, good.
All right, here we go. Local birthdays. Sadie Shum, it's her birthday today. If you have any local birthdays you want to add, let me look
I don't
on
know if I
Facebook.
do or not.
Mandy Todd,
Trying to think of what.
Caitlin McKibben, Chuck Brannon, Jerry Trout, it's his birthday today. Mary Wheaton, Susan Whiting, Walker Riffle, and Ruby Henderson. You know Ruby, don't you? There you go. You got any?
Nobody local.
That's all right.
Daniel Wells. He lives in Dayton. He's an artist. Pretty cool. And then Nick Siebert. He was yesterday. So
Okay. All right.
happy birthday.
All right. And well, let's go ahead and go to break, and we'll come back. We'll do the celebrity birthdays first, and then we'll do Chain Connection.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the game is actually over before you storm the court. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The only man in the world who can list all the vice president's wives in order of height, from shortest to tallest.
Reunites with the only other man in the world who cares.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Made up stories to brighten your day.
And maybe, just maybe, keep you safe. But don't count on it.
And all the latest news about the Murphy, Ohio's hometown theater. It's what you've come to expect.
And it's what we've come to deliver.
With the Murphy Report. Every Monday on the Murphy Theater website and our own YouTube channel.
Amanda, I understand you have a special skill of reciting the entire alphabet backwards.
Yeah, that's true.
That must be quite a belch.
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us. Donuts. Getting a makeover and a name change.
it's every baker's nightmare. Buckling to the snowflake social media pressure, America's tasty glazed treats will now be known as doughy, emotionally compromised yeast rings.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Why wait for real news when you can get all the made-up news you need?
Along with the facts about Ohio's hometown theater, the Murphy.
On the Murphy Report. Find us on the Murphy Theater website and our own YouTube channel with a brand new report every Monday morning.
I have tried so hard to cut back on my daily doughy, emotionally compromised yeast rings intake.
Really, Steve? No one has noticed. And I mean no one.
The Murphy Report. Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us.
Started to, he started to ramp it up and
The
got out of
electric bill
hand.
came. Yeah, that.
I'll put a damper on things.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Well, we're back with Danielle Johnson, new mayor of Sabina, and she's one of the reasons she wanted to come on because she wanted to play the game.
I didn't even know there were. I feel blindsided by the games, actually.
blindsided.
Yeah. Don't let them fool you.
All
It's
right.
not bad.
Okay.
Okay, the first one is just we're going to guess celebrity ages and we play high-low. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
easy. Now, the way it works, you get
It's
a
like
guess.
Price is Right rules.
Yeah, you get a guess.
Uh-huh.
No, you get a guess and they get a guess, and we just keep rotating until we get it.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
I'm going to give you one clue. If he says just a little higher or lower, go one way or the other.
Yeah.
One age down
That's right.
or up.
Yeah,
That's right. You're supposed to
that's the
figure
key.
that on your
Just
own.
a little. That's the key.
All right, here we go. I pity the fool. Mr. T. How old's Mr. T today? You know who Mr. T is.
Yeah, I have no concept of how old he is. This. I'm
The-
gonna say.
the
I'm gonna
18.
say 78.
Lower.
73.
Now, I gotta let them guess.
Oh,
gotta let them
okay.
guess.
I'm ready.
That was a good guess, though.
I'm almost about 72.
Just a little bit higher.
73?
Ding, ding, ding,
Oh, there
ding,
you
ding,
go.
ding, ding. Yeah, let
See,
them
I
guess.
nailed it. See, I'm quick. I got this. Yeah.
Yeah, you did have it, but I just told you the rules. So everybody
right.
guess once.
I'm not quite a rule follower. Just kidding, Samina. I'm such a rule follower.
Judge Reinhold, actor.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
So let's say 56,
was the show?
because I have no idea who he
He
is.
was in several shows.
Yeah, he played like an attorney in one show.
Yeah. He's been in some sitcoms. If you look, when we get done, you can look him up and you'll go, oh, yeah, I know who that guy is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know who he is. I guess I should have wrote down what
So he's
shows.
old.
What shows Judge Reinhold in? You want to look that up? Judge, Judge, Reinhold, Reinhold. He's older. We can guess ages. Anyhow.
Well, I'll just out of the park then. 78. We're gonna go with that again.
Lower. That's a good place to start.
69.
Just a little bit high.
68.
68. Let's show Judge Reinhold. Well, just name 2 or 3. What about TV shows? Oh, okay.
He's on all these dead programs?
I'll tell you what. That's all you can find on on Netflix. That's all I see on there. It's like murder, death.
Herbie.
I'm like,
yeah.
why is this so horrible?
It's
Yeah, that's all it is. And I thought, why are we glorifying this?
Rick-
society's going. I mean, people. That's
Isn't it
what they get
weird?
into.
Rick's favorite senator, Al Franken.
Yeah.
Used to be on Saturday Night Live, Al Franken. Minnesota senator.
67.
Higher.
75.
If he's 78, we're going to fight about this, okay?
75 is just a little bit high.
So Kevin says, this was just right. Stripes.
Stripes, yeah.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, okay.
Ruthless People.
He's back there goofing around, so just say 74. and we'll move on.
74.
74. Right. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. 74.
So, boy, he was in several Beverly Hills
Yeah,
Cops.
yeah. Judge,
Ryan.
yeah, Beverly Hills Cops.
Santa
Yeah.
Claus.
All right, here we go. Josh Allen, quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
I don't know any of these people.
You got it.
42.
He's still the Buffalo Bills
Josh
quarterback.
Josh Allen.
34.
Lower than 34.
30.
That's just a little bit high.
29.
29. There you go. All right. Ronald Isley of the Isley brothers. He's from Cincinnati. I didn't realize this. Ronald Isley. He's old. He's old.
Oh, that's relative. So let's see.
88.
78.
Lower than 88, higher than 78.
All
Bracketed.
right. Nail it.
84.
Ding, 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 ding,
Wow,
ding, ding,
good
ding.
job.
84.
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay, this guy used to play for the Cincinnati Reds and Texas Rangers. He even won the All-Star Game home run derby one year. Josh Hamilton.
I'm just really. This is
He's
just, I'm
retired
blindfolded
baseball.
doing this. I have no idea who these people
Yeah,
are.
he's a retired baseball player.
Okay, 67.
Oh, he's not that old.
52.
Lower than 52.
Wow.
47.
Lower than 47.
42.
Bracketed 42 to 47.
44.
That's it. 44. Ding,
All
ding,
right.
ding, ding,
Bingo.
ding. Got two left. Bobby Cox, manager of the Atlanta Braves. And he's old.
You said that last time.
Well, he was. That guy was 84.
I love it.
That guy was 84. There you go. Yeah, 84. Bobby Cox. See, I was consistent. Dave Wonstadt. Now, we got to let Rick answer first because this guy used to coach the Cowboys. And Rick is one of those people that's into self-pain, so he likes the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
So there you go.
it's like a Bengals fan.
Yeah,
That's right. Go Reds.
you weren't supposed to say that. There you go.
Good job.
Dave Wonstadt. See people.
62.
62 is low.
68.
Is low.
71.
Is low.
Wow.
76.
76. Bracketed. 71 to 76. It's bracketed.
73.
73. Ding, 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 ding. Because he just saw Vicky Kendall. 73.
Yeah.
All right.
Our Googleologist.
In memory today,
You need to watch because they'll
They will
help
give
us
you
out.
hints.
When we play the game.
you can look off mine if you want. In memory today, one of Rachel's favorite serial killers, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh,
He never met a liver he didn't like.
Yeah.
And Ara
Terrible.
Parseghian. Yeah, he was the head coach for Notre Dame. Hey, happy hump day to you too, JD. Rick will tell you what hump day really stands for if you want him to.
Yeah, and I can
All
never.
right.
You gotta watch Netflix.
Yeah, you know what? Rick did that, and I will never be able to hear the song Alice the Camel again and feel the same. I just
Alice Gamble.
I love that Alice the Camel. You know.
All right, now we're going to play chain connection. So, Danielle, the way this works is I give you a word, and the first letter of the next word, you got to figure out what that word is. So, example, Mountain D.
do.
Mountain D, exactly.
Okay.
See how easy that is?
Yeah, well, it's probably
Now-
not that easy.
Now, we've got,
It's not that easy.
I know, you gave me an easy one. Like,
now
yeah.
you can pick Rachel, the Evil Emperor, Rick, or Jerry to be your partner.
Oh, okay. So this is a team game?
Yeah, you two can
Yeah.
play as a team.
Well, I mean, I feel like we nailed it already once. So I love you, Rachel, but I'm going to go with Jerry.
Everybody goes with Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Especially the women.
So Rick, the Evil Emperor, and my wife are a team.
Ah.
So,
Let's kick some butt.
so Rachel, you get the choice. You can go first or pick the column. Okay, what column you want? Oh, he doesn't like calling me.
Never.
All right.
Never.
All right, so you guys are going first
All
with
right, don't let
column
me
A.
down.
Huh?
Don't let me
Oh,
down.
hey, we're good.
Actually, both these I think you could run.
We're
You
good.
say that all the time, Charlie.
Bunny R.
Oh, wow.
Rabbit.
That's a
Bunny
hard
rabbit. I told you these are easy today.
one. All right.
Rabbit F.
Foot.
Rabbit foot, right?
Right.
Foot L.
Long.
Oh, you should have told.
That's a Schuster answer.
All right, so now your turn. You guys turn.
Oh, I know
right?
what it is.
All right, come on.
Dang
Rick.
it.
Repair M.
Repair M.
M. Like
Repair M.
mother.
Now
Repair M.
we just stay quiet on theirs.
Okay.
Yeah. But Bill Lehrman plays this. He always gives wrong answers for the other two.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Repairman.
Is that what you're going with? Repairman is correct.
Way to go, Rachel.
Man, you.
Man, you.
Yeah. Jerry already knows it.
Man, you.
You don't have a little sand timer on this?
No, it's in
Yeah.
my head.
That's a good idea.
I
Yeah.
have thought about that, but then we'd have to wait for the sand to start over again.
Oh, here we go.
Man, you.
There you go, Charlie.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Perfect.
That'd be too long. Man, you.
Man up.
Man up is right.
See that? See,
Thank you, Vicky.
done the clue.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. No, look, she wrote it down. They did. Did you notice anything I did? Yeah, I did. You did notice what I did? Oh, okay.
See ya. Okay. Go ahead.
Up T.
Up.
Up T.
Time, up. Up. Whatever. Up tick. Up. I feel we're going down the rabbit hole on one of these shortly.
Up T. It makes sense. I could give you a great hint, but I'm not going to since I got.
Yeah, this can't be
since I
rigged.
got
Can't
scolded.
rig it.
Town? Uptown?
Uptown? Is that what you want?
Rachel likes it.
That's right. Uptown.
Thanks again, Vicky.
I see there are people on there giving it to
Vicky's,
them.
Vicky's on our team.
Town
I think we're
H.
getting shafted.
Yeah, I know.
Hall.
The game is
Town
rigged.
Hall.
The game
Town
is
Hall.
rigged.
Really? Yep. Okay, back to you
Well, it
guys.
wasn't Town Hump.
Yeah. Town. Oh shit. Okay. Foot L-O.
I'm saying loose.
Foot L-O.
Loose. Okay.
Loose Foot Locker.
Whichever one. You go for it.
It's one of them's right.
Oh God.
Are you afraid somebody's going to
Foot Locker.
whispering?
No, you didn't even say one of the two I heard. I
I
heard.
said foot loose.
So which is it? Footloose or Foot Locker?
Footloose.
Footloose is correct.
Sweet.
So loose L.
Loose L.
Yes.
Lips.
Yeah, loose lips sink ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go with lips?
Go ahead.
Loose lips.
Loose lip is right. Lip.
Okay.
Yeah, this one for some reason doesn't like
Why would
plurals.
they say loose lip?
Well, it's loose lips, but they don't like plurals. So when you're thinking of the next word,
I was thinking Loose
singular.
Lucy, but that's a whole different story.
And it goes alongside hump day.
All right,
You're going down the rabbit hole.
I like her.
two left. There we go.
You got to come back, Charlie.
Lip S. Oh, she's welcome back anytime.
Lip what?
Service.
Lip S.
I go with that.
Service.
What? Town? Are you going to do this at council meetings?
Yes.
When you get your way? What?
Oh, you're probably right. Yeah.
Town H-O.
Townhouse.
Is that what you want? Townhouse is correct. House G.
Why not? What are you looking at that for, Charlie?
No, I'm looking at you.
Oh,
House guest.
Sounds good to me.
That's right. For the win.
Oh no.
Uh-oh, let's close it out.
Could be taking your first loss.
Let's go there.
Guest R.
I'll go with my partners.
Guest room.
Jerry, it's okay because Footloose Footloose is one word anyhow.
Oh, shut up, Kevin Martin. There you go. Guest room is correct. We have a winner. You gonna
Good job.
you gonna hit your button? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's finish
Finish us
out Jerry's and. Okay, so you said lip service, which was a good answer,
Thank you.
but it's lip ST.
Stick.
Lips. This is how close you were to winning.
Yeah.
Stick you.
Stick up.
Stick up. That's how close you were to winning.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's all right.
All right.
There's always next time.
There you go.
That's right.
Well, Rick and Rachel, they just had the mojo going today. They had the magic
That was
power
it. That was the
going today.
mojo, Rachel.
And
Yeah, their mojo's name was Vicky. Okay.
Thanks, Vicky.
Vicky just lives outside Smile.
Oh yeah, cool.
Vicky, mojo, by the way, is our word of the day.
Oh.
Yeah, so mojo is magic power, and that mojo can be good mojo. It could be bad mojo too. So
I'm always
keep
putting
that
out that good mojo.
in mind. So you're always putting out that good mojo.
Positive, yeah, always positive vibes.
Gotta be positive.
We live in a field of mushrooms, you know. What can I say?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that. Field of mushrooms. Depends on what kind of
Mushrooms are
mushrooms.
positive. They're so good. So that's what we always say.
I got a friend who used to do.
Yeah.
I had a friend that used to do mushrooms in the day, and he's told me some stories. Oh, jeez.
I got good mojo.
Those are the good mushrooms.
This guy is probably one of the smartest guys I know. I'd love to get him on the show, but he lives clear down Waverly, and he's a self-made millionaire after being in prison in California.
Good for him, man.
Great guy, great
awesome.
guy. Yeah,
I love a good comeback story.
he's Bishop Walker. That's his name. He makes masks for a living.
What a super cool name.
Yeah, he makes
I
masks.
love that.
But he the Slipknot mask the band uses. You know Slipknot is.
I mean,
Just say
sorta.
yes.
Yeah, sure.
You know them.
Yeah.
Well, he makes the actual mask.
Wow, that's wild.
And he makes them for this. He showed me a mask that he made, and they made the case and everything for it. I think it was like $30,000 for the case, the mask, and everything. But it wasn't for
I mean,
Slipknot.
gee whiz.
It was for another band.
That's
And
wild.
he markets them all over the country, these different masks. You gotta gotta go to a funeral. Sorry about that. Roy Hubbard, Hump Day, Loose Lucy, Up Service. What is going on? Laugh out loud. It's Roy, by the way. He is the. I don't know if he's just a whipping boy or the owner of our pizza place.
Fresh pizzas and cream.
Yeah,
we
fresh.
love Roy.
But you need to come out there on Thursday nights. We're out there every Thursday doing a little show, and we're trying to get a cruise in started too.
Yeah, yep. I put that on my newsletter.
From
So that'll go out
4
to 2,500 people.
4 to 7 o'clock, and hopefully we're going to build it up. First week we had 3 cars. Last week we had 5 cars. The problem the last several weeks is it's always threatening freaking rain on Thursday. But we did a little show out there. Our best show so far has got over 3,000 people. But last week's was a little down. It was like 1,200, 1,300. Okay, back to Sabina here.
Okay.
So we've got another thing that Sabina's got going for it though is a community pool. And
Absolutely.
we saved that during my reign as mayor because it was either buy it or they were going to fill it up and put apartments there. So we bought
Oh
the
my
thing.
gosh! Wow.
And the thing was, whoever did this before should have been shot. The guttering of the pool, which needed to be stainless steel, they just put regular steel in. So the first couple of years we ran the pool, we had to put our own PVC pipe up around to run the guttering.
Wow.
And then finally we got the money. We had a little group, and I don't think it's still in existence, but this would be an excellent group to get going again. Sabina 2000.
Okay.
And you need to look into the history of that. Sabina 2000, we was a group of entrepreneurs, people who cared about Sabina, that raised money for Sabina, and they basically got the funding for the new gutters out there at the pool.
Yeah.
I mean, they donated time, effort, money, Yeah, it was a great group to have at the time.
The amount of volunteer work that goes into getting that pool season ready is just incredible. I mean, the people that come
Olympic-sized
out
pool.
to help out for, I mean, anything and everything, it's really awesome. It's hard. We were talking about it's hard to come by volunteers. And I mean, these people are just putting in so many, sweat equity hours to get it ready. And we're super grateful for that.
It's a nice pool. It's a nice facility. Us and Jeffersonville. I think Wilmington has a pool, but I think it's private. Snow Hill, Barry Dares, they don't have any pool anymore, do they? I don't think they do.
I don't think they do.
Yeah, and I can't believe Washington Courthouse buried. Yeah, Washington Courthouse buried theirs, which surprised me. But so if you want a community pool, but we do ask you to ask right. Yep, sure missed Sabina 2000, and Christine was on the council then.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I tell you what, we had a good council back then. Everybody. At one time, everybody had a college degree or some kind of degree on the council, which is very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare. It was good times. We met at the Methodist Church, and I can't say enough about them. Ann and Ed Keene were kind of the spearheads of it. And there's a pastor there named Wayne Albertson who was big on it, and we sure did. There was a lot of it was good time, and there'd be a good one too if you need any help. She's getting her realtor's license, Christina. So there you go.
Yeah, just got out of school, so I should be taking my test here at the end of the month.
Yep, I'm sure she'd be willing to offer you any because she's good. She's really good.
Oh, I know it.
Yeah, she sells a lot and she ranges out more than you realize.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Christina's actually been out to my house before when we were thinking about moving. She came and checked out to get me some numbers on my property. That was a while ago. So
I was gonna say you're not thinking about that now.
No, that was maybe probably a year ago.
Yeah.
I'd say now, but
you're right there in the heart of Sabina. I mean, right there behind. You might be a little bit too close to the mayor's office.
Yeah, I'm pretty well in the backyard.
Yeah,
so.
she's like right across the alley is where she lives.
It's good for me. I think it's probably bad for the employees. They're like, we've never seen a mayor here this much. I'm like, well, buckle up because I'm in the backyard and I'm unemployed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, but you could be employed real quick. Just see, you need to buy the restaurant. I'm telling you.
That's what everybody keeps saying. But you know what? When you work at the restaurant, your tax returns don't reflect somebody that could go buy a restaurant. So kind of got an uphill battle there,
There's grants for that.
Yeah. Well, I think that she's going to get an awesome buyer, and I'm really just hoping that
She got somebody on the limb, you think?
I don't know. She's had a few interviews with some people, and I think that there's a lot of interest, which is amazing. I'm so glad to hear that, and I hope that whoever gets it just
Keeps the
out of the
biscuit
park.
and gravy.
Yeah.
Just keep the biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
And open on
hopefully
Saturday
she'll share all of
mornings.
her recipes. Yeah, hopefully.
Open on Saturday morning,
Because we just had
please.
such a solid group of amazing customers, and that was the hardest part. Some of these people have eaten breakfast together for 15 years,
Oh, yeah.
So
That's,
it was emotional for sure. I know, out of nowhere, it was like Wednesday. She's like, I'm thinking about shutting it down, and Friday, boom, we were done. I
didn't
was
you have
like,
a couple
wow.
cooks quit at the same time or something?
We had one cook that was leaving, and then I had already scheduled my real estate classes, so I was taking 2 weeks off. So it would have been left with just her and one other person, which Steph and I, we were kind of I always say she's the yin to my yang. So, I mean, we could rock it out with two people, but it was rough stuff.
Yeah.
So to think to rock it out with somebody else for 2 weeks, it was just not realistic.
School
So she
vacation.
felt like that was, I know, but she just felt like, you know what, this is a sign, and I'm ready to just start a new chapter. So
Well, I mean, anytime you're, especially in today's world when you're dealing with the public, I mean, it's, you got
it's a full-time job,
Yeah, luckily on here we don't get too much criticism because they do know we're volunteers. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind if you ever want to criticize us. We are volunteers. So
Yep.
I just it's a lot different when you're a volunteer.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also a lot different when you get old. When you get old, you just don't give a crap sometimes
Yes.
about stuff. So you just tell it like it is, and if they like it, great. If they don't like it, great. Who cares?
Well, that's something I try to bring to the table, and I think, some people appreciate it and some people don't, is my transparency just about anything and everything. And I, going into the village offices, I'm like, I have an open door. Literally, I go in there and I open up all the doors. I'm like, I want anybody to be able to bring anything to me. You might not like the answer, but I'm going to be honest with you about it, and I want you to bring it to me so that there's that open line of communication.
I've been that way for 30 years.
Absolutely.
You got to be.
It's the easiest way to be.
I've had people that I know did not like me, and they would tell people they didn't like me, but those same people would say, but if you go ask him something, he'll tell you. And he'll tell you how it is.
Absolutely.
Tell you the truth.
That's how I am.
And a lot of times that's what they didn't like because I didn't tell them what they wanted to hear.
Yeah. But I mean, the truth is just the easiest way to hit things. It saves so much time.
Right.
Well, you
don't have to have good memory then.
Yeah. Yeah, if you tell the truth, you don't have to.
And I'm going to tell you what, as soon as you swore in, you had instantaneous haters. Just because of the position.
Yeah.
I had people who didn't like me, and I hadn't done anything to them, but I was mayor, so I was hated because I was the mayor.
Well, I hope people don't feel that way. I mean, I know that they do, but I'm really trying to run on like being responsive to resident concerns. Like for instance, if they bring us something on a council meeting Thursday, I want to have an answer for them by the following week on whatever that is, because it seems like in the past there's been a lot of kicking the can down the road.
Let me say this though. Don't wait till the council meeting. Call.
Oh, I do. No.
Just call anytime. I'm talking to the people because.
Oh, yeah.
You can go to the council meeting and air your grievances and all that, but if you need something done or something's going on, call right away.
Absolutely.
I took calls all the time, and like I said, a lot of times Rob or the people would go ahead and fix the problem before I even
call,
there's some
come
things,
up there,
but
shoot me a
some
message on
things
Facebook. I mean, truly, like I don't bring, if there's a question or a concern or anything, and like I said, that survey's on there, so that's helpful because that, we're just trying to gather as much information from the residents because that's what we're all here for, is for the village.
Yeah,
so,
and there's sometimes that you can't give an answer until it goes before council and you get council's vote.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So you got to let them know, hey, this is.
But as a server, I always said, and like I'll go into restaurants, and I recognize this too, like a little bit of communication goes a really long way. So if you walk into a restaurant and people just walk by you because they're busy, what are you going to do? You're going to turn around and you're going to leave. If somebody looks at you and goes, welcome in, we're so glad you're here, it's going to be just a minute. Okay, I know what's going on.
Right.
You know? It's the same with this. If I'm like, hey, we're working on an answer for you, I'm going to get back to you, and then I do, well, then they're going to remember that.
I'm just trying to be courteous to the people's time so they don't have to come upset for an hour and a half, or because they can say something to you, you can bring it, and then get back to an
Absolutely.
answer. I mean, they don't have to necessarily be there.
And like Charlie was saying, instant haters, and the thing of it is the minute you take that position, they let everything carry over that's happened in the past with past administrations comes right straight over.
Yeah.
And whether you haven't even been given a chance, and some people are like that. They just
I think a huge part of it too is just, and I don't know the right term to really use other than, I say it about myself. Sometimes you come from a place of ignorance, and it's like just not knowing what goes into something. Like if. It's so easy to complain about whatever it is, whether it's infrastructure, and I mean, I find myself doing it sometimes, or the sidewalks, but you don't realize that, it cost $500,000 to do one block of storm sewer adjustments. Right. Well, where does that money come from?
Right.
Right.
So it's like, why don't we have this and why don't we have that? Because it takes time and effort and money to do those things.
And unless you've got a line item that's for storm sewers, you got to really try to figure out where that money's going to come from.
Absolutely.
Because you can't really go with street. You can't go with,
Yeah.
I think we have an extra, everybody pays an extra $1 a month to put in a storm sewer fund.
Yeah.
So you do like Wilmington and have the
The rain tax.
The rain tax.
Rain tax.
Yeah.
don't get any ideas.
No, it's just hard. But I mean, yeah, it's a balance of being fair to
Right.
the residents of your community and also trying to upkeep your community. What a difficult balance that is.
Right.
You know?
I'll tell you, I don't know if they still do it or not, but when I was mayor, we had a grant called the CHIP grant.
Okay.
The CHIP grant was awesome. They would take it had to be a street where a lot of low income people, you had to meet income requirements.
Sure.
And they put in I think they put in everything, water, sewer. So I think they put in everything new, sidewalks.
There were sidewalks coming out of
And,
CHIP grant.
and also, but here's the other kicker of it. They had so much money that they could give residents to have loans to fix up their homes up
Who
to a
was
certain
that
amount.
through? Do you know?
Community Housing Improvement Project.
Wow,
CHIP.
that's incredible.
Yeah, CHIP. And we had like 15 people, and my parents wanted to sign up for it. And I said, well, you can sign up for it, but you're going to, there's another guy that was linked to the village, but you guys have got to be the last ones, because if there's other people involved, you're out because I'm the mayor.
Yeah.
And it worked out, but they got a new roof.
Improvement process? Did you say or progress?
Projects. Yeah, community housing improvement projects.
Look into it.
And
See
it
if
was
it's still around.
well, it was nice because but the sad thing is a lot of people got $10,000-$15,000 worth of home improvements, and we still had people complaining. It's like, you got all this because they didn't do it exactly the way they wanted. It was free. If you lived in your house for the next 5 years, it was free.
Yeah.
They got new kitchen cabinets. I mean, they got all kinds. One the heating system. They got a bunch of stuff. They got like $10,000 worth of it free.
Yeah.
Free money. Christina Strickland, Sabina needs to grow for so many reasons. Great. Should we do what is needed to grow and develop? I agree, other than one thing that we need to check, and I don't have the answer to this. It's like New Vienna. New Vienna, they really can't grow because you're limited on your water and sewer,
And like I said,
right?
just land in general in Sabina.
Well,
you
you
know?
can always access land.
We're going through that right now because we're limited on our sewer because of the type system we have.
And how's Sabina like? Well, that's something we need to find out. How can Sabina accept more people? I would assume for water is okay, but I don't know about the sewer. I don't know how much more Sabina can handle, because it seemed, in my foggy memory, it seems like we had problems back when I was mayor of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something we'd have to look into. I know, like with, I used to live in Asheville, Ohio, and they had plenty of land to have developers come in to put in, new subdivisions and things like that. And in order to do that, they would put in place that the new developers would have to contribute funds to improvements.
Well, you have tap
So-
fees and you have all that, which is good. But,
It'd be awesome but it's like, where do you go put a whole entire neighborhood in Sabina? Inside the corporation limit.
Well, you don't. You'll have to expand it. I would say on the other side of the pool would be the first, because even when I was mayor, there was a development drawn up for on the other side of the pool area. Going out 729 on the left past the trailer park, there would be a place.
It changed the direction of Asheville entirely because, like Christina had mentioned, just having that larger tax base and bringing in those tax dollars, bringing in the improvements that were provided by the developers because of whatever agreements were put in place. And then since then, that community has just grown and flourished, and more businesses have gone there, and they're able to fix up that downtown. And my gosh, that would just be so cool for Sabina,
I had a developer that wanted to buy land, and that's one thing Sabina needs, whether it's a member of the council or whatever. We need somebody to try to attract new business. We almost had a McDonald's when I was mayor.
I heard about that.
They were looking at Kim's Diner. They were. The problem is everybody got greedy. What they were asking for their land, everybody went zoo.
Yeah.
So
and
they
we
come
have
in.
Subway. That building's now for lease or for
Yeah.
sale.
I tell you what, I'd love to see. I don't know that it would ever happen or not. I think it'd be perfect for Sabina would be a Rallies.
A
I'd love to
rallies.
see one in Louisiana.
Well, Rallies is perfect because it's
Small.
It's small. The food is relatively
Well, make some
inexpensive.
calls. Make some
Lot of
calls,
traffic.
I'm
Charlie.
not involved in that yet.
Hey,
If I-
anybody can
if I-
call.
If I get involved, I might. We'll see. But I would like to see a Rallies or, we were that close to having McDonald's. Subway, Subway, one thing that bothers me about Subway, the last time we went to Subway, was it was really good. I mean, it was clean. The girls working there were high school kids, but they were on top of it. Then they closed, and I was like, well, dang,
Yeah, well, that's why I'm
Because it
really
was getting
hoping
better.
something good can go in there. That would be amazing.
It was getting better. Well, and
It's
they,
probably just too late, At some point, it builds
I
up
thought
too
there
much.
was a
And
coffee shop slated for going in there.
I've
I
heard
think
that
a coffee
rumor.
shop would kill it. I think it would kill it,
Well, there, and
especially with the schools being right there.
they talked about a donut shop and coffee shop in the old bank building next to it. But
I
that's,
think it would just. I think that would be
Is
awesome.
anything in the bank building?
no, a new
Still
guy bought it.
renovating it. Oh wait, which one are you talking about? Which?
I'm talking about the old drive-through. So we
Okay,
almost
yeah.
bought that when it was made.
So that was the one that I heard was supposed to be coffee and donuts, which the location
Yeah.
right there on the corner
Be
would just be
perfect.
stellar. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Or Subway.
Yeah, I think there's huge opportunity.
I hear there's Rally Fries already here. Don't you guys serve Rally Fries out there, Roy? Smart aleck. Roy, he's the gem. He's a gem. So, yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff, I don't know about other businesses right offhand because, yeah,
Well, like I said, I feel like just when we talk about volunteers, instead of just saying like, "Hey, we need volunteers" or "Hey, we need businesses," I wrote up a bunch of letters that I'm going to send directly to businesses to say, "Hey, we would love for you to come be in Sabina," because what's the worst that could happen? They say no, It's worth sending out some letters directly
and
to
traffic
make those
studies.
connections, as opposed to just saying, we need business, If you just go directly to people, a lot of times that's all that, all that people need.
yeah,
It's to say,
Christina
we want
sold the building, and that was the plan whenever it got done. But then I heard they were just going to make it an apartment too, or a rental. So I don't know. But
Be better for a business.
now, Jerry, you got one thing I don't think do much in Sabina that they do in Louisiana. What's that where they take over the property? What's that called?
Oh, that's county.
Yeah, but
Like the land bank.
the land, do we
land
have
bank.
any properties in the land bank in Sabina?
Christina might be a better person to ask for that. I don't know. I know it's been discussions, but I think it is probably more difficult than it.
Well, they just didn't you guys just have a couple that are they going to give the land back to Louisiana or what are they doing with it?
No, that's
I think they break it all. I mean,
a crazy deal right there.
Is that because my aunt bought a land bank property and they cleared the land, cleaned it, and
Then
then
they
sold
just
it to
sell it?
them.
The problem is the land bank is ripe for corruption. A lot of the places that operate land banks, like Wilmington,
Yeah.
but there's money that's given if you hold the property for a certain amount of time. The federal government gives you money, and then once you release it, you make money again. Obviously, when you sell it, but
And
it
it-
helps.
I don't know a whole
But I
lot
think
about
also
that.
it's typically between the gosh, I keep hitting this. I'm such a hand
You're
talker.
right. You're right.
Oh, like ugh.
There we go.
They sell, or maybe it's just first right for the connecting landowners. I don't know if you know that.
That
Jerry.
would make sense.
Well,
And then if they don't want it, then it goes out and is sold to.
I
the
always
public,
thought
I guess.
that, but I sat in on a meeting, and the guy that had the property right next to this property that he wanted to buy,
Christina said she doesn't think there's any in Sabina. I didn't think so
and
either.
they wouldn't sell it to him.
Why?
Well, because Rick just said, they're making
they-
money not selling it.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I don't know why the federal government gives money to keep the land for a certain period of time. You'd have to ask someone here in Wilmington, but I mean, that was the reason the city prosecutor resigned. He was involved in some illegal.
Land bank dealings.
Well, they
huh?
shut the land bank down for a while. It's been shut down for a few months now.
I was wondering because I looked,
Because-
there was only like so many counties in Ohio that even still had a land bank.
Well, I think some of what happened here.
It's because of the corruption.
Well,
Wow, that's
it
terrible.
wasn't. I don't think it was as much corruption as it was they didn't follow the guidelines to the like.
That
They
could be corruption.
didn't do. They didn't
Who
do
you
it.
sell it to? Oh, well,
Well,
my
they
buddy down here has some money.
they didn't do as much back search on some of the properties, and some of the properties actually
They went
had
after properties.
people that were family that it could have gone to or had something. Yeah.
Oh, it could have been willed or something. Yeah.
Or
They
they
should have had
might have
first
been able
shot at it.
to take it over and
They went after their property just because it was advantageous for them to do.
Well, or if
Because
it's
it was
junked
a
up too.
yeah.
But that's something, you know.
We got some weird situations in Indiana you would not believe.
Well, I'm sure Sabina does too. I mean,
Let's take a break.
hey, let's take a break.
This is
Are animals
We'll be
using
back.
your house as their new home? Spring is around the corner, and so is birthing season for wildlife. Give us a call today if you are hearing noises in your attic or under your house. Here at Diamondback Wildlife Extraction, we can take care of your wildlife removal needs and repairs. Nuisance wildlife can be very destructive to your house, such as chewing on or through electrical wiring and much more. Call us today to book an appointment for inspection at 937-302-6372. We strike back.
Indulge in a variety of mouth-watering dishes, from juicy burgers and fresh salads to stacked sandwiches, delicious pizzas, warm soups, crispy fries, and finger-licking wings. Every bite is crafted with care using hand-grinded and breaded ingredients made right here in-house. Whether you're dining solo or with family or hanging out with friends, we have something to satisfy every craving. That's the Rusty Keg in Washington Courthouse, the best fries in town.
Roller Haven is located at 1640 U.S. Highway 22 Northwest, Washington Courthouse, Ohio. The perfect place for a day out with the family, birthday parties, and even an organization event or fundraiser. Check out our website, rollerhavenwch.com. Or give us a call at 740-335-6481 and we can help plan your event. We look forward to seeing you there.
The only man in the world who can list all the vice president's wives in order of height, from shortest to tallest.
Reunites with the only other man in the world who cares.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Made up stories to brighten your day.
And maybe, just maybe, keep you safe. But don't count on it.
And all the latest news about the Murphy, Ohio's hometown theater. It's what you've come to expect.
And it's what we've come to deliver.
With the Murphy Report. Every Monday on the Murphy Theater website and our own YouTube channel.
Amanda, I understand you have a special skill of reciting the entire alphabet backwards.
Yeah, that's true.
That must be quite a belch.
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us.
A couple more, not quite that bad, but they're bad enough.
Yeah.
And we're back. And we got last 10 minutes here with the new mayor of Sabina, Danielle Johnson.
Interesting conversation today.
It's been good.
In Sabina. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
been
my
good.
gosh. Yeah. I'm so glad about that.
Well, and, you know, I don't mean, when you walked outside, I said, well, I hope she's happy and cheery like this after she's been in there a year.
Yeah.
Because it can soil your attitude sometimes. Because when people get in this position like Danielle, now not everybody, but like Danielle, they're trying to help. You know, when I was there, we're trying to do what's best for Sabina. There's no personal agenda. There's no, hey, I'm gonna get this in here so my buddy can make a bunch. But no, that's not it at all. It's whatever's best for the village. And most,
I have a stake in the community.
Right,
You know, I mean, I own
right.
property. I raise my children there. My kids attend
no,
school.
Right.
You know?
everybody does that though, that has these positions.
Carpetbaggers.
Well, they're not. It's not even that. It's just they have personal. They have
Agenda.
personal agendas and not necessarily that's for the good of the town. And if you're on a board, any kind of board, council, whatever, and you're not there for the good of that municipality, you don't need to be on there.
Exactly.
You need to go because that's not what it's all about. And well, it can be, you can have different ideas. I'm not saying that.
Sure.
But everybody needs to work together. That's why these are all nonpartisan. There's no Republican, no Democrat, but you do have differencing of opinion. And the nice thing is you try to work each side of the difference together to get a result that's happy for both.
Well, we've got a policy there, and it's an unwritten policy in New Vienna. It's funny because there are some staunch liberals,
Yeah.
and there's some staunch
Conservative.
conservatives
Right.
on our council. But when you walk through that door, you leave it at the door.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think about being a Republican or a conservative. You guys call me the closet liberal anyhow in here, which I'm not. But I mean, you got to look down the middle. I mean, like I said, when Bill Clinton and Newt Gingrich were in office, they actually worked together.
Well, that's what's
And that's
wrong with
what
our
needs
country
to happen,
today.
yeah.
Is it has become just totally divided. If you're a conservative, you've got to be totally conservative. You can't even
Yeah, the
listen to
crazies are
anything
running
from
the middle,
From,
the
and if you're a liberal,
outsides.
you can't listen to anything that conservatives have to say. And if you do, you're a traitor.
I think that a big, huge part of it, at least what I see, is people allow their emotions to get in the way of business in general. And I feel like I'm really good at kind of just setting that aside and looking at the meat and potatoes of whatever it is, whether it's a plan or an issue or a concern, and just going, okay, regardless, I don't care if I like you or I dislike you. Are you a good worker? Or
Right.
are you, whatever it is, that's what I'm looking at.
Right.
Because I just am not emotionally. I just said yesterday, if my sister worked for the village, if she sucked, she would get fired. I don't care that you're my sister.
Right.
It boils down to whether or not you're doing a good job,
Right.
Yeah, they always
And
told
that
me.
comes with anything. I mean,
Yeah, they always told me I'd fire my mother. I said, yeah.
I know that's how I am, because
I don't think
I'm
I
in
could
it for
do
the
that.
village.
I couldn't fire my mom.
I'd fire her in a heartbeat.
I tell my mom. I tell my mom. I give her a chance to work it out first.
Well, absolutely. That's what I said. You got to give everybody an opportunity to show them what kind of worker they are, or show them what kind of community member they are, or whatever it is, whatever we're discussing. You know what I mean?
But now, part of that though too, as in your spot as a leader, and Rob's and Joe
Chastity.
Noel, Joe Noel,
Yeah.
you guys need to be forthright with your direction too.
Absolutely.
Because I've worked for principals in the past. I had no clue what they wanted, and
I think you know me well enough to know that I say what I mean and I mean what I say.
No, but there are.
I'm pretty direct in that manner.
There are leaders that don't do that.
Absolutely.
And that's why a lot of good employees will leave.
100%.
So
Delegating and things like that are super important as a leader.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And, and you got to make sure, and I'm sure that you feel the same way. You've got to make sure you delegate to the right person,
Absolutely. Yeah.
because you can.
And utilize your resources,
Yeah.
because you know what? Different strokes for different folks. Everybody's good at something different, and everybody can shine in whatever that is. And so recognizing that and using that to your advantage is only going to strengthen your team. If someome's super good at whatever
Donuts
it is,
was a good start yesterday.
Thank you. Yeah,
Donuts
I
was a
figured,
good
a
start.
sweet treat to get the day started with my first staff meeting. Why not?
Donuts and then raking them over the coals wouldn't be a good start.
You know what? I felt like we had a really reasonable discussion, and I felt like it was a really good, like I said, just really trying to open up that line of communication.
One thing I did, and I've already told you this, I met with the police chief once a week, 15, 20 minutes, half hour tops. I met with the village administrator
Sure.
once a week. And then that way we just kept each other apprised of the situations, what was going on, what I'd heard, what they'd done. That way I knew, that way you all want to be on the same page if you can.
Yeah, that's my plan for sure. And I mean, I am going to be more present because of my availability and because I live in the backyard. So like I said, I think it'll really help get things accomplished rather quickly. When Abe, for example, our previous mayor, he worked 50 hours a week. And then also there's life, right? So he, I think, would be able to dedicate a little bit of time, maybe once a week in the evening. But a lot of times it was after they'd already left, So things would have to wait 2 weeks or more.
Well, Mary Cisco was our water person and she was our water clerk.
Okay.
She would text me all the time, say, I don't know how you can do this like this. But my approach to the employees was I let the village administrator and the police chief take care of it. Mine was hands off and to encourage.
Sure.
And I tell you what, after Mary said, I don't think you can do this, about a month later, she says, you're doing it fine. She says, I like the way this is working. Because there's no, one thing employees hate is when we had some council people do this where they go out to the job sites and just watch them.
Sure.
No one wants to be watched when they're working. No one. So, just if you're there to help, hey, everything going okay? You need anything? Good. Okay. Glad, because I probably couldn't help you, but hey, I'm here. Well, when it comes
Everybody
to
needs a little support system,
Right. Well, but you got to do it in a way that, we're here.
That's what I said. I want people to be able to work independently, and I feel like make decisions, and especially little
have
things.
To work independently.
Just be aware. If that looks like it needs fixed, well, just go over and do it. We don't have to talk about it. Just go do it. So that's what I'm trying to encourage.
It costs multi-millions.
That's what I said.
Dollars,
Yeah, if it's nominal, or if it's free, if it's just picking up trash off the side. I mean, we're all here for the village. We're trying to make it beautiful. So just stop the truck, hop out, throw it in the back of your truck, and move on.
And something that you may want to look into, and this would be a job. This might be neat if we could get like an intern or something to work, but have a little guide available for people in the community. Hey, do you need help? Because our Diet Coke guy, emergency management, they offer programs for seniors who can't get their brush and stuff cleared up.
Sure.
There's other things that are out there that can be offered to where if people knew about it, they might use it more. And if we just had a little guide to help in Clinton County if you need it, something along that line.
Well, that's a really good recommendation for our newsletter. I can include some information in the newsletter, but I absolutely always want the residents to feel like if they have questions about anything, they can always call the village offices. And like I said, I'll be there and be more present and available to people. So if they need to speak directly to me, or they can speak to my assistant, Andrea. She's just super friendly and super helpful. And Sharice in the front office, just anybody. Reach out. And if we can't directly help you, we can absolutely try to find you resources to get you the help that you need, no matter what it is.
We had a business directory, too, that we put together. So if we needed anything...
That's on our website.
Yeah.
She's working on updating that because, again, that's a little out of date with the recent closures and things like that.
We did it back in, 2000s when I was doing it. Christina Jackson, the good old Powers family, the village workers. They're not there anymore. They're gone. Yeah. That was interesting. Yeah.
I said, everybody's approach is a little different.
The council you have to deal with right now, it's okay, but you don't have anybody like the Bob Powers and Sally Cress of the days. She said it right there. They would go out and be watching at the job sites, and never a good word to say.
You know what? I don't ever want anybody to feel like they have to do that.
Yeah.
I want the village workers to like I said, just work independently and be able to just handle business. And I don't want anybody to ever think that they have to look over their shoulders.
They don't, but it wasn't. It was the people.
Gotcha.
It was the people on council.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get.
Final thought, Charlie?
I do have a final thought, and this kind of goes for our new mayor here. It's by Era Parseghian, the Notre Dame football coach for many years. You're going to get knocked down, but you don't live there. You get up and face the challenge. Era Parseghian. What do you think of that? That's a pretty good one.
Absolutely.
You're going to get knocked down, but you don't live there. Get up and face the challenge. And it kind of goes back with that old thing, to fly with eagles, you can't let the turkeys get you down. Same type of thing, huh?
It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get up.
Yep, that's right. There you go. So let's get win one for the Gipper and Savannah.
Is that a song? You're never gonna get me down. I get knocked down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there you go. yeah. And you're invited back. You know, if you want to make us a monthly thing, you come in once a month.
Little monthly
that'd be great.
update.
Yeah,
Cool.
seriously.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I would enjoy that very much. As long as I get to keep one of these cup mugs here, put some coffee in there for real.
Right in front of you.
Perfect. Thank you so
There
much.
you
Then
go.
it's a deal.
There you go. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. And tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I had so
What
much
is
fun, and
tomorrow?
I'm just like so excited about this whole opportunity. So I appreciate you.
And tomorrow we have Travis Fenstermacher coming on. Uncle Punky may come another day. He has to work tomorrow, Uncle Punky does. Hey, Travis, remember your money. Oh, by the way, let's mention that real quick. Clinton Becker and Becker's Smash-tastic Burgers are at Family Farm and Home today in Washington Courthouse. I think 11 to 4, something along that lines. They're going to be in New Vienna, and
Thursday.
I'm working on him to have one night, either a week or a month on Sabina.
Well, I think too that I believe I just saw he's going to be at the Ezra Dobby fundraiser. That's on May 31st.
Yeah.
In the municipal
Unfortunately,
building parking lot. So please come out and
they're
support
going
that
to do a little car
girl.
show for that. Unfortunately, I was already booked. I am in Chillicothe that day doing a car show there for, you might remember this guy, Leonard Sines. He ran for sheriff of Fayette County several times.
I'm not
He lives in
sure
Ross
if I
County.
do or not. But...
Leonard, he used to be on Sabina's police department
Oh,
years
okay.
ago. Yeah.
Cool.
Leonard Sines, interesting guy, great
Bye,
guy.
everybody.
Hey, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.